Well, are you coming?
Where?
Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express.
No picture with Santa this year? You made your sister.
Girls and boys, moms and dads, welcome to the Polar Express at the National Railroad Museum. Tonight, we'll travel on a magical journey to the North Pole and back, and along the way, we'll find out who truly believes in Santa Claus. Before we get underway, I'd like to mention that the Polar Express is made possible through the generous, community-minded support of Pomps Tire Service. We know tires and service, you should know Pomps. Schneider National, leading the way in transportation and logistics for over 80 years. Burnson's Candies, yes folks, these are the chocolates you've been dreaming of. Broadway Automotive, at Broadway, it's better. Unison Credit Union, where we start with you. The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers. Wisconsin Public Service, keeping the lights on for you and yours this holiday season. And Cellcom, your local wireless communications provider. Say folks, so that everyone may enjoy tonight's program, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. Should you need to take a call, please step to our lobby or a vestibule on board the train. And remember, when we finish reading the Polar Express story, you'll be taking a train ride to the North Pole. After that train ride, you'll not return to this room, so please take everything with you when our conductor calls all aboard. Girls and boys, it's mighty cold outside tonight, but we've got something to warm you up on the inside. It is hot chocolate, and our hot chocolate is never cool. That's just our one little rule, because on the Polar Express, we've only got the very best hot chocolate.
Your attention, please. Are there any Polar Express passengers in need of refreshments? I thought so.
gentlemen, it's time to enjoy a nice cup of Polar Express hot chocolate! Imagine it's a snowy Christmas Eve, and we are all tucked snugly in our beds, barely able to sleep. For as night passes, Christmas comes ever closer. And as the snow swirls around outside, we strain our ears to hear any little sound. Was that a noise on the roof? Could it be Santa and his reindeer? And out in the street, what was that hissing sound? Could it be the Polar Express? But is there really a Santa Claus? Is there really a train called the Polar Express? Now, as we listen to our story, it is time to look deep, deep into our hearts and ask, do I truly believe?
On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I was breathing slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I would never hear. The ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I peered through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked at my window. I put on my slippers and robe and tiptoed downstairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" "Where?" I asked him. "Why, to the North Pole, of course," was his answer. "This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand, and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot chocolate as thick and rich as melted candy bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon, there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon. But the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. "There," said the conductor, "is the North Pole." The North Pole! It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was ever made. At first, we saw no elves. "They are gathered at the center of the city," the conductor told us. "That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas." "Who receives the gift?" we all asked him. The conductor answered, He will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves! Outside, we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no farther, we stopped, and the conductor let us outside. We pressed our way through the crowd of elves to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They danced and pranced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard before. Across the circle, the elves moved apart, and Santa Claus himself appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and pointed to me. He said, "Let's have this fellow here. Ho, 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 ho." He jumped onto his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee, and he asked me, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?" I knew I could have any gift I could ever imagine. But the one thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside of Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything in the whole world was one silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. When I asked him, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood holding the bell high above him and called out, "The first gift of Christmas!" A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed high into the air. Santa circled once above us and then disappeared into the cold, dark, polar sky. As soon as we were back inside of the Polar Express, the other children asked me to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said, but the train gave a sudden lurch, and we started moving. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas!" he shouted. The Polar Express let out one loud blast from its whistle and sped away into the night. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one small last box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. There was also a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," my father said, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all those who truly believe.